Good afternoon, everyone. This afternoon we had a great class. It was very informative. We talked about the ability to pay for college and the cost of college. I sent out an earlier notification that we were going to have class at 1:30. Everybody should know the schedule by now. Hopefully everybody's nestled in with the new schedule. All right, so we went over our PowerPoint presentation on finance and higher education. We started out talking about, of course, I always rep my colleges, Xavier, Southern University, and University of Phoenix. We talked about how high school graduates earn more than over a lifetime than high school dropouts. So it's important that you guys are working with your case managers, working with your mom, your dad, and many other people to figure out what it is you want to do once you transition from high school to post-secondary education, or whether it's a vocational trade school. We looked at some snippets from the EverFi module where they talked about how do you pay for college. So a 529 plan is the first thing we talked about. And the 529 plan is basically a plan that your mom, dad, or guardian or somebody creates as a savings account. And they create that plan and put money aside for you to pay for you to go to college. So they allocate the funds once you are registered for school. Your GPA is good to stay high. Remember, we're on a 4.0 scale, so the closer you are to a 4.0, the more scholarship money you can get from various organizations and institutions. All right. Even the school that you apply to and go to, you can do a scholarship application, and they can also give you money towards your tuition or pay your whole tuition in all costs. So it just depends on how connected you are with your clubs and organizations and stuff in school. And that tells a lot of whether or not they're going to pay for you to go to their school. All right. So we also talked about the types of money that's offered. The first thing is grants. Grant money is free money that you do not have to pay back, okay? I always talk about if you're on free and reduced lunch here at TC Williams, then 9 times out of 10, you will qualify for grant money, all right? Grant money is paid and applied via the federal government, and they will send the money to your institutions once you fill out the Fafsa Form. Loans is something that you borrow. It's money that you borrow in order to pay for college. Loans can be broken down into 2 categories: subsidized loans and unsubsidized loans. Subsidized loans pay for undergraduate school, and you do not have to pay for the interest. It doesn't accumulate while you're in school. But unsubsidized loans can be for undergraduate or graduate school, and you do have to pay for that interest because it's going to accumulate over time. For loans, you don't have to pay them back until you graduate. Normally, they start knocking on your door. I'm not knocking on your door physically, but normally start calling you about payments and setting up a payment arrangement 6 months after you graduate from college. We also talked about the Fafsa Form and what does that look like. So I put the link for Fafsa on your Google in the slide. So here on the FAFSA application form is the website. You can go and look at all the things that you may need and all the information that you may need to apply for the FAFSA. We talked about October 1st being the deadline for seniors. Well, not the deadline, but the start date. You can start applying for money October 1st, and the early bird gets the worm. So make sure that you go and apply your senior year October 1st. All right. It used to be January, but now they changed it to October. This website gives you a host of information. So just peruse the website just so you can get a little information and more familiar with the FAFSA. All right. Next, we talked about how that looks, right? So when we're paying for college, who pays for it? You know that money comes from the federal government. And then we talked about what happens when students drop out of college. You drop out of college, you have to normally pay that money back. So it's important that a lot of times students understand that you're paying for your education. So if you go to college and you wind up dropping out, you still have to pay for the classes that you took. Okay. Last but not least, let's look at our Google Classroom page, and let's continue to look at what else we went over. After we finished that, we looked at what assignment was due for this week. And this week, our assignment is the application fill-out assignment. All you have to do is click on the link, and it will bring you to the application. The application is here. You fill it in with your true information. Once you fill it out, then you're able to save it as a PDF with your information on it and upload it to Google Classroom so I can check it. The application is a real mock application, and these are the things that you're going to need in order to, and understand how to do, in order to apply and get that job, okay? So that's due on Friday. Remember, complete the job application. You are seeking to get hired. Fill it out. Remember, turn it in via Google Classroom. You have to save it as a PDF first with all your information on it. Also know that, people, I'm checking for grammar and mechanics, so make sure you are capitalizing the first letter of your name. Make sure you are writing out or typing out your proper address and how it's actually written. So it's important that you practice filling out an application. Last but not least, the stream for next week. Know that last week we had a guest speaker, which was Miss Muse, the artist and songstress and filmmaker and HBCU graduate. But this week we are going to have Mr. Shabazz. All right. So Mr. Shabazz will be talking to us. He's a published author, entrepreneur, a lecturer, award-winning educator. And he's going to be talking about HBCU history and the Black suffrage in America. So it's really important that you tune in. Okay. So that'll be a great class. So next week, well, not next week, Thursday, next class, we will have Mr. Shabazz online with our open forum. You'll be able to ask some questions, and it's going to be very, very, very informative and nice. So see you next class period, and that's Thursday at 1:30. Bye-bye.